It's time to take off your clothes, enjoy clothes free living, and join us for Naked, Nudist, and Naturist.
Welcome to Naked, Nudist, and Naturist, the show that celebrates clothes-free living for all. I'm your host, Frank Stone.
And I'm your correspondent, Lisa Monroe, and I'll be reporting on all things within the naturist community. So it's time to get naked and join us.
And enjoy clothes-free living on Naked, Nudists, and Naturists. Well, greetings and welcome into Naked, Nudists, and Naturists, episode 139 today. Really glad that you are here with us to enjoy naturism, nudism, clothes-free living for all of the right reasons for the next hour. So if you're able to be clothes-free, join us, and if you're not able to do so, we understand. We'll get you next time. But that is the way to live. We were intended to live that way. We believe that wholeheartedly without question. We were literally born that way. Why did we change? Well, somebody in society said we had to put clothes on. I don't know who that somebody was, but boy, I'd like to get a hold of him or her for a few minutes. Born nude, intended to be clothes-free and be your genuine self. So let's do it. Clothes-free living for all the right reasons. The pool is ready to go. The hot tub is fired up. The grill is going full bore. Fruits and vegetables off to the right. Cold drinks off to the left. Hot drinks inside. A hammock outside the left door. Putting green behind the pool area. Our cigar bar in the back left corner of the pool area. Help yourself. Plenty of extra everything. Towels, lotion, chairs, you name it. We are good to go. On today's show, Paul Z. Walker, a new book. Lisa Monroe coming in. And then part 2 of my interview with Brady Dell from the Pine Tree Associates Family Nudist Club in Annapolis, Maryland. And now let's kick off today's show with an audio clip about his brand new book, Single Gender Team, author Paul Z. Walker.
This is your Space Overlord speaking. Hello to the entire NNN crew and all the listeners, now and into the future. This is a fun thing I really wanted to say, playing a bit of time warp. Hooray for podcasts, right? It's that time of the year again where I put out a new naturist-ish book. Naturist-ish? Yes, there is a lot of nudity in it, but it's not really based in naturism. It's more in the form of how many of the aliens, oops, spoiler alert in hindsight, like to dress, or rather not dress. Let me get this in the clear, and I'll start with the title of the book. The book is called Single Gender Team. It's a science fiction themed book with a special twist, which will become clear soon. Let me first give you some info on how this story came to be. A while ago, I was talking with some writer friends, and we are famous among ourselves for going into the wildest areas of imagination, trying to coax each other into writing the weirdest stories. At some point, we managed to make someone write a story about a statue coming alive and trying to figure out what the hell was going on everywhere. That's pretty weird, isn't it? But then the topic for the Single Gender Team came out. My friend said, "I'll do this if you write a story about space lesbians." I'll immediately admit that I had not expected that one, even in my little group of wacky weird ones. But I laughed and we chatted on for a while, until the statue and the space lesbians came up again, and this time it was for keeps, so we went into the options for either story. Did I say we're weird? As we were having fun with all that chat, I said, "Sure, yes, I'll write that story," and so I had to do it. The result of that promise is now out in the world under the title Single Gender Team. And it's aimed a little bit at the LGBTQ and so forth plus community, as it involves lots of lesbians, and they are not a bunch to be messed with. I am aware that this isn't a book about naturism as is, but I hope that readers will enjoy the story anyway. And I sincerely hope that there are some people in the LGBTQ plus etc. community who will also pick it up and hopefully give naturism a try. Thank you, as always, for the opportunity to talk a bit about my new publication. On behalf of the alien space invaders and me, have a great clothes-free day if that's possible for you. And now, Frank, on with the show.
Paul Z. Walker, a very terrific author. We want you to check out his new book, Single Gender Team. I'll put a couple of links in the show notes for you, so check him out. He's also part of the great triumvirate of naturist anthologies around here. Will Forrest, Ted Bunn are the other two guys. And we thank Paul Z. Walker for announcing his new book on our show. Well, you are listening to Naked Nudists and Naturists, episode 139 today. Really glad that you are with us today. And I don't know about you, but I think I hear some music in the background. Do you hear it? Let's listen for a second. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I hear it plain as day. I'm sure you do as well. That can only mean one thing. It's time for the great, the terrific, the completely over the top, fully clothes free and fully smiling, our naturism correspondent, Lisa Monroe. And here she is, the one of a kind, the one and only, the completely clothes free and fully smiling, our naturism correspondent, Lisa Monroe. Good morning, Lisa. How are you today?
Well, I'm doing terrific, I think, and I hope you are too, Frank.
I'm doing really well. What do you mean you're doing terrific, you think?
Well, it's gotten chillier outside, and I'm not a happy camper. I mean, I know it's worse in some other parts of the world, but I'm sorry, but I'm being very selfish. It's about me right now. It's cold.
It is. I think the only decent hours for me now, this is just me, and I'm similar to you in terms of being wired for the cold. About 11 o'clock in the morning until about 4 or 5 in the afternoon, I can be outside doing whatever. Before that, and certainly after that, no way. And I think it was last night and as well as this morning. So about, let's say, 10 o'clock at night, last night, or 9 o'clock, whatever, as well as, let's say, 6 or 7 this morning, the real feel was 45 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, to some people, wow, it's a heat wave, wherever they live. To us, that is like 3,000 degrees below zero. You're feeling the same thing?
Oh, heck yeah. And it's very, very, very hard to deal with.
That's true.
I don't like the cold. So,
No, but we can be warm inside.
yes,
Okay.
sort of. Yes.
Yeah. And you can still get outside. You just can't stay out there as long as you could, like in July or August.
Oh, no, no. Or as early like you. The sun has to be high in the sky before I'll go out. So
Okay.
I'm just really bad. I know. Terrible thing.
But no matter what, you are clothes free as often as you can, inside or outside.
Absolutely. And I am now. I just might be a little bit nippy.
Yeah. Yeah. I know what you mean.
It's slightly chillier in the studio than normal.
Yeah. Yeah. When you put the AC on, and then the temperature in the house is lower than what you had set the AC for, that's when you know you have a problem.
Exactly.
All right. Got that cleared up.
Okay.
All right. So let's get to it. We have, as everybody knows, a Patreon page. We started doing this show for free and canceled paid work to do the show for free. Not the brightest move ever, although we did it on purpose, which makes us even less bright. Because, if we had done it by accident, like, oh, we didn't know. But Lisa, you and I said, hey, here's a way to make less money. Let's do it. And we jumped in with both feet. How bright does that make us?
Well, it's not real bright at all, but that's okay. But you know what? This is fun. And this is not this is not a money making scheme. This is not anything along those lines. We did this because we love naturism. So, and we wanted to share what we knew and hear what other people did. So, and that's what we've got. And that's the fun part.
Yes, and that is the main point, is not only sharing what we know and what we do, but helping others. And we found along the way, time after time, every week, since we started July 1st of 2023, a lot of naturists out there, a lot of nudists who think they're odd or weird. Like, I just want to get my clothes off. I hope nobody finds out because they might send me for psychiatric counseling. And they're realizing through our show, oh, so it is normal and natural. Two big key words, normal and natural. And so we've made our mark with this show, not about money, but about helping people and doing greater good for the naturism community. But there are expenses involved. There are expenses in anything that you do practically in life. And to offset those expenses, we turn to you as listeners to give to the show whatever you can. If it's 3 or 4 cents, if it's 3 or 4 zillion dollars or anything in between, we're happy to accept and put it toward expenses. And on each show, we try to highlight two people who have recently given to the show. Lisa Monroe, who do we have today?
We have today Luke, which is Luc, is how Luke spells his name.
Mhm.
And this one's really interesting. I'd love to know the history behind this gentleman's name, but Bass Barracks. Cool.
I'm not sure if it's a gentleman. It might be a woman.
It could be.
Yeah.
Could be.
Going by some of the emails that he or she sent. Haven't figured
Ah,
it out, haven't asked, but either way,
doesn't
Luke,
matter, but
that's right. Luke, thank you very much. And bass or bass, could be bass.
could be bass, yes.
Yeah, depending if he or she enjoys fishing or enjoys music, right?
Exactly, one or
Okay.
the other. So we need to know. We need to hear from Bass Base Barracks.
All right. And thank you to bass/bass. We appreciate you very much. And our link to Patreon page is in the show notes, every show at the very top. So if you'd like to join us, we'd like to have you. You are the hostess with the mostest when it comes to merchandise. Lisa Monroe, what's new and terrific and just beyond belief great in the world of merchandise for our show?
Well, first of all, just call me Martha Stewart, and
Okay. All right.
we'll be fine.
All
Okay.
right.
However, right now I'm on my way to order a couple of hoodies because it's cold.
Yeah.
So there are, if you are suffering from a little bit of cold, there are hoodies, and we've sold a couple more knit caps, which is just amazing to me, and some sweatshirts and their long sleeve tees. And then if you're lucky enough to be in a warm clime like we used to be, you can go out and get a t-shirt or whatever that you wear to and from the resort. That's all.
Mhm. Okay. And if people want to find our merchandise page, how do they do that?
They do that by going to nakednudistandnaturist.com. Click on the menu bar where it says in shop, and it'll take you to all the goodies.
All right. And you will be there, a smile on your face, waiting for them or not necessarily?
Well, certainly I'm there in spirit, if nothing else,
Okay.
because it could be 24/7. I'm there in spirit.
All right. I just don't want them to think they'll click on the merchandise link and there's a video of a live video feed of Lisa Monroe waiting for you. Probably not the case.
Probably not the case.
All right. But you are there in spirit, so that counts.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Well, very good. We have this program, or Anna has come up with this program through GAT, which is Government Affairs Team, and they do all the work behind the scenes that very few people know about or even see. When they hear about or see some legislation going through that might affect our nudist rights, they launch into action. And they have a program called Wreaths Across America, honoring our veterans and supporting GAT. Join us in honoring the sacrifice of our fallen veterans. And Lisa Monroe, they put out a paragraph or two. Do you want to go ahead and read that?
When you purchase a wreath, the Wreaths Across America, $5 from each wreath goes directly to support our GAP program. Your participation not only pays tribute to those who fought for our freedoms, but it also ensures that we can continue protecting and preserving our nudist privileges for generations to come. We honor the past while protecting and building a stronger future for all of us. Every wreath tells a story of courage and sacrifice. Every donation helps us carry that legacy forward through the work of our government affairs team.
Okay, and at the end, join us, honor, remember, support, donate today to make a lasting difference.
Mm-hmm.
The deadline to purchase these wreaths is November 15th, a week from today. So if you want to do this, do it quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And you can go to the Wreaths Across America site, or there's an email address. I'll give it to you now, but everything is in the show notes for you. bgparks@anner.com. That's BG, and then Parks is spelled Parkes. So bgparks@anner.com. And again, all of that's in the show notes. And a lot of people put a wreath on their door, for Christmas time.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to do that, here's a great way to get one. And $5 from each wreath goes to the GAT, the Government Affairs Team, to help you and to help all of us keep our nudist rights in place. Speaking of which, I saw an article recently. I don't have it in front of me. 6 people were arrested about a mile north of Blind Creek Beach. Blind Creek is a nudist beach.
Mm-hmm.
They were about a mile north of that, not a nudist beach, but they were naked as jaybirds, and they got arrested. And again, I don't have the article in front of me. I don't have a lot of details, but that stuff goes on all the time. And I'm not a police officer, and so I don't want to tell them what to do because they have so much junk they have to deal with every single day. they're mostly dealing with the bottom of society. They don't deal with the happy and nice
Hmm.
people out there.
Yeah, they do.
And so they get a little ticked off sometimes, and I can't blame them. But I've heard stories before where police will discover people at the beach naked, not
Hmm.
causing a scene, not just marching up and down the most crowded beach in the world, just off to themselves, naked as jaybirds. And the police will go down and say, "Hey, folks, it's not a nudist beach. Can you please cover up?" "Oh, yes. Sorry, officer. We didn't know." "Okay, great. I'll check again in a little bit. And if you're naked again, I'm probably going to have to give you a ticket or arrest you.
Hmm.
So this is kind of a warning." That seems a pleasant way to deal with it. And I don't know the backstory of this at all. Maybe those people are out there jumping up and down, flaunting, "Hey, everybody, we're naked. Look at us." In which case they brought it on themselves. But if it's just mindless, lack of a better term, freedom, enjoying nudity a mile away from anybody, and maybe just leave them alone or give them a warning. What do you think?
Absolutely. I think there's overkill in a lot of this, and it's just people just get crazy for the wrong reasons, and sometimes that power goes to officers' heads, and it's just the sad thing. And who knows, maybe someone complained, so they're operating on a complaint. And if they're operating on a complaint, they have to, really go by the stickler of the law. I think I've told this story once before, but years ago, I was on Billbag State Park in Miami, which is on Key Biscayne, and they have an absolutely beautiful beach there, and it's very popular, and it's popular with tourists. And there was a couple there with their small child, and it looked like her parents because the mother looked like her, and uh, they were European. And she took off her top, and she was sitting there naked. This is an absolutely beautiful young woman, just stunning looking young woman, not model type or anything, just very pretty. And so she was there topless. Who cared? Nobody said a thing, but apparently someone did get offended.
Mm.
And here came the park police. Park rangers showed up. Not one to ask her to put her top on, but seven showed up to tell her to put her top on. So that tells you the kind of issues that we have, because that suddenly became a thing that they needed to, run and everybody get a quick look before she had to cover up. And so, and she was doing nothing to harm anyone
Right.
at all. And so I think it's, we have our heads messed up about all of this.
Yeah.
And it's just a very sad situation. And maybe these people were acting up and doing things they shouldn't have, but just being naked is not a reason to be arrested.
I'm thinking, as I heard that story, seven officers showed up to make sure this woman got her top on.
Hmm.
If they wanted to call me as not the eighth person, but just a person to oversee them to make sure nothing happens to them, I'd be willing to do that just to help out the greater good.
Oh, well, you're just such a kind person,
Yes,
aren't you?
I try to be. No,
I
I'm just kidding, but
know
yeah,
you are.
yeah. In all seriousness, if they're just enjoying a clothes-free day and not causing any ruckus, it'd be great to leave them alone. Give them a warning. Hey, folks, get your clothes on. I can't. If I see this, I can't ignore it because the law says this, or go a mile south to Blind Creek Beach. But
Mhm.
to arrest them, I mean, they're arrested. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get more information and be a little more prepared next time. I just happened to see this as we were coming on today.
Mm.
We have an email from Bill, wants to be known as Bill. And Lisa, if you don't mind, go ahead and read that. I love the opening, by the way, but beyond that, take it from there.
Oh, Frank, you're so predictable. Anyway, Bill starts out Frank and Elisa.
I like Bill already. Go ahead. Keep going.
Oh, Bill's okay.
Yeah.
He's being polite. You are the host.
All right.
And he doesn't want to hear you, complain. But
Right.
anyway,
Okay.
let me go on with Bill's note because it's a very good one. He says,
Yes.
I'm always on the lookout for good places to retire. And as a naturist, Florida is high on the list. I'm curious whether the high number of retirees enjoying clothes-free living is due to naturists moving there or people taking up naturism once they arrive. Some people must discover it when they arrive, while others always wanting to try it and decide retirement is the time to take the plunge. Still others were enjoying naturism long before retiring to Florida, I imagine. Do you have a sense for how large each of these groups are?
Okay. And that's from Bill H. We appreciate that. And I don't have a sense how large the groups are.
Mm-mm.
I would say the answer to his questions would be all of the above. We have a lot of people down here live clothes free, want to be clothes free, 25/8, can't be because of where they live or what they do or whatever, and they make plans. Someday we're going to get to Florida and they're going to be naked all the time.
Mhm.
Well, there are restrictions here too. You can't just do
Mhm.
that willy nilly, but there are a lot more places available where you can do that. And people are a little more forgiving or look the other way in general, not always. But there are also people who never had their clothes off in their lives except when they shower and they get down here and say, it's awfully hot. I think I'll take my shirt off or what the heck, the pants are. And next, before you know it, they're naked as jaybirds and loving every second of it. So probably all of the above. Do you agree?
I think so. I think that it's, six of one, half dozen of the other. And I think a lot of times when people, retire down here, they've usually left their family and their closer friends where they were. And so they're kind of footloose and fancy free. They're making new friends. They don't have a lot of, family members around them. And they may feel less restricted and more able to do what they wanted to do or maybe be more vocal about it. But I think that, there's a ton of naturists out there people don't even realize. So I think that there's an awful lot more naturists than we think there are. And so this may be an attractive place for them because they do have beaches they can go to and resorts that are within a couple of hours of driving distance. So it does make a difference, if you live in the middle of in the central part of the US, you may have to drive several hours to get to a resort, and you certainly
Yeah.
don't have a beach anywhere. So,
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of attraction for that, but I think it kind of it's just, it's one or the other. The people either come down because they are or become naturists because they're here. So who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, it also depends on what you're looking for. Do you want the social naturism aspect? Florida's a great place, especially certain areas. If you just want to be naked, clothes free, 25/8, you could buy some land in the middle of nowhere and do that. Nobody would ever see you. You wouldn't interact with anybody with your clothes off on a daily basis, anyway. So it depends on what you want. And obviously, to us, anyway, the warmer slash hotter the weather, the better, right?
Definitely, especially today. But yeah, I think that Florida does make it more conducive to enjoying being a naturist because you have a year-round situation where the weather is pretty much good for being nude outside anytime. There are a few days when you're nude under the winter coat, but that
Yeah,
that's just what you have to do, and unfortunately, that's what we have to deal with. But
that's right.
yeah, I think that I just think people, if you one way or the other, come down and be a naturist in Florida.
Yeah, that works for me. Very quickly before we go, we're still discussing and throwing back and forth, doing video. Everything we've done so far has been done on video. We just haven't released much video. Recently released a few segments of interviews that we've done around here. And to make it clear, see, we don't want to be on the internet with people looking, in their basement for on the online in their basement. "Oh, I want to find some naked people, and they find us, and they find us because we're naked. That's not the point of this show. There are shows or people out there who like that. Here's my naked body. Please look at me. We're not that. We're a naturism show with content, information. We try to make it fun and entertaining as well. But it's not about we're naked, please look at us. And we don't want to become that, and we won't become that. So if we do the video, release the video, it would be just to our Patreon people and not out there willy nilly all over YouTube and Rumble and whatever else. So we don't lose our identity as a show that's serious about naturism and promoting it and close free living for all the right reasons. And Lisa, we have to go fairly quickly, but any final thoughts on that? We're still kicking it around though.
Yeah, we are. And I think, I understand that people want to, kind of put a face to a name, and that's not an issue for us. But the end, as Frank just said, the intent of the show is to discuss naturism for our listeners, not to promote ourselves as naturists. And although, we are. And
Mhm.
so I think that, there's a lot of things to think about here, and we'll just see how it goes.
Okay, and we've been discussing it. We discussed it as recently as this last Wednesday on the show, as well as behind the scenes. We'll keep going on it and let us know what you think, as always. And Lisa Monroe, with that, we're going to head for the hills. Part 2 of my interview with Brady Dell coming up, and then I'll see you at the end of the show. How's that sound?
That sounds great.
All right, stay clothes free for the next half hour or so. We'll see you in just a little bit.
Alrighty, I'll be back.
Sounds good. the very terrific Lisa Monroe. She does it all around here, as you know. And before she left, before she went dancing out the door, she handed me a note. And apparently I misspoke about the wreaths across America through GAT. I made reference to you can hang the wreath on your door. Well, that's not the case at all. Your purchase will place a wreath on the resting place of a fallen hero and provide $5 each for the Anner Government Affairs team. So I want to clear that up. You won't get your wreath. It goes on the grave of a fallen war hero. And GAT will get $5 from that to continue the great work that they do. Hope that clears that up. Well, as a reminder, we are the official podcast of the American Association for Nude Recreation. Are you a member? If so, that is great. But if you are not, you can become one today. Just go to AANR.com, follow the navigation to membership, and within moments, just like Lisa Monroe is and just like I am, you will be a fully fledged member of the American Association for Nude Recreation. How about that? And now let's get to part 2 of my interview with Brady Dell from Pine Tree Associates Family Nudist Club in Annapolis, Maryland. Also a gifted athlete, does a lot of naked running, so let's get to it right now. Part 2 with Brady Dell. There's a place in the country, it's through the American Association for Nude Recreation, the Southwest region. And I don't have the details in front of me, so I'm just going by memory. They have an actual circuit of nude races, club to club to club to club. Any chance of getting that going in your region?
We try, yes. We would love to.
Yeah. I don't know how many clubs are in that area. Do you know?
There is a circuit we're trying to do in the East Coast. We tried to join it last year, and the timing didn't work out. There was too much scheduling going on. But there is, I think it's called Naked 5K, or there's a group that has all over the East Coast. Virginia. It just needs to be honed in.
Yeah.
We didn't have a lot of time to do it this year just because there was so much going on at the club as far as upgrades, and just didn't have time to do it. But there is a circuit that runs the East Coast. We just have to look further into it. It got kind of put on the wayside.
That might be the way for you to find more nude races, to just organize them all and call the different clubs, hey, how about we have one on this Saturday for you, we'll have one this Saturday for us, or whatever.
Yes.
And then before you know it, everyone's participating and more people will come in.
I do believe it's already in the works, because I spoke to a member, came in here, I believe it was last year, and we had talked about it. And it never happened. I guess we needed more leadership in that area, and it just got kind of pushed under the rug. But it is working, and we've got a really great race organizer here at the club that will probably help us put it all together.
That's very good to hear. Yeah. The now the races that you run, are they all 5K or 10K? Have you done marathons?
All different. All different. Yeah.
Okay.
All different distances. And we even thought about making like a mini obstacle course, but I don't know how being naked and doing obstacles, I don't know if that's I'm not sure the safety of that. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you gotta be careful there.
as it might just have to make it water related, like a little like biathlon, duathlon,
Yeah, right. Keep it safe.
run, swim.
Yeah. Have you ever run a marathon before?
I have. It's not my favorite. It takes too long. I like 10K and under. So under an hour is usually my sweet spot.
Okay. Well, the race, a marathon race takes a long time, but also the preparation is, I know some people who run, they run hours a day for weeks or months, right, to prepare for one
Correct.
race.
That's a lot of training. Yeah.
All right. So you guys run a lot. You run in races a lot, and I'm guessing you jog on your own if there's not a race on a particular day. And
there's training involved. Yeah.
Yeah. And the two of you are very heavily into physical fitness and being as healthy as you can, which when I was talking to Matt seems to permeate throughout the whole club. Not that you have to be in good shape or even want to be in good shape to join Pine Tree Associates, but it is a focus there, right? If you want to come here and get in great shape, we're here to help you, and life is so much better when you're in good shape, isn't it?
Yes. That's why in this community we've got naked pickleball, and I mean that is like the highlight of the weekend is pickleball. The water lifting classes. It's usually it's literally when you wake up in the morning on a Saturday and a Sunday, it's pickleball first, then it's water lifting. That's about an hour. Then it's disc golf, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
then water volleyball.
yeah.
And by that time, it's like 5 o'clock. So
Nothing wrong with
you've
that.
pretty much done. And there's yoga. We also have yoga. So if
Mhm.
you're not into the more vigorous activities, there's stretching, yoga. They call it walkie talkies. So
Mhm.
there's a group that meets and they just walk the grounds, or they do a trail walk
Mhm.
every morning. Um, and they just chit chat and walk. I mean, and everybody's naked. And we've got
Yeah.
a lot of runners that do early morning jogs,
Mhm.
naked,
Yep.
trail, take their dogs on the trail naked,
Yeah, yeah. That and the key word that keeps coming up is naked.
naked.
Uh, I know this, and it sounds like you know it even better than I do. That very few things in life, when it comes to exercise, can beat working out or running while totally naked. Right? It just, you've mentioned it before. You just feel totally free, and
Hmm.
I've equated it to, even if you just have a shirt on and a short sleeve shirt and it's a thin shirt, there's still a little tug on the sleeve as you go to lift a weight or you go to pull something, and just a little, but enough that you notice it. Well, when you're clothes free, you
Hmm.
don't have that junk, and it just, even if it's psychological, although there is a physical aspect, but psychologically, all of the barriers are removed. I can just work on this machine or lift that weight or run. There's nothing hindering me. Have you consciously told other people about the psychological or even the mental health benefits of being nude all the time, especially when exercising?
Yeah, it just, you don't have any restrictions.
Yeah,
Like you said, you'd feel that
yeah.
tug. You feel, and I don't like when your clothes dig into you. You've got
Yes,
like that. You
yes.
get a little self conscious, like,
Yep,
oh.
yep, yeah,
But when you're clothes free, there's just no barrier. There's no restriction. I mean, put a towel down, obviously, but
yeah,
it's just the most wonderful feeling.
yeah, yeah. It really
Yeah.
is. I have this one pair of gym shorts that I'll put on, and sometimes I'll forget to tie the tie, and so they start to fall down. And then as I'm outside, like taking my dog out or something, with my shorts beginning to fall down. I always catch them in time. I consciously think, see, that's why we shouldn't have clothes on, because you have to stop and you got to pull them up and you got to adjust and you got to tighten it. None of which we'd have to do if we didn't have them on at all, right?
Right. Right.
That's right. Well, going back to your youth now, okay, so you wanted to be clothes free all the time. Your
All the
dad
time.
chased you around the yard like, Brady, get something on, please, before the neighbors, whatever. How did your mom fit into this whole picture?
Well, my parents, I grew up in a split family, so they were divorced when I was 3.
Mm,
So I only got to stay with my dad like every other weekend, and that was
okay.
the fun. That was my. I was like, wee,
Yeah.
yay! It's just like I love the weekends.
Yeah.
My mom, I didn't really have that great of a relationship with my mom
Okay.
in the beginning, so that was just all work whenever I stayed with my mom and my
Yeah.
stepdad.
Yeah.
But my dad's house was fun time, friends,
All right.
you know, friends, and the pool, and just fun.
Yeah.
I think now, going back to my mom later in life when we actually got along, I did tell her that he and I were nudists, naturists, and
Mhm.
she loved it. She thought it was
Oh, cool.
great.
Okay.
This is just recent. I mean, both my dad and my mom have both passed.
Okay.
But I did tell her towards the end, I was like, yeah, we live on a nudist resort. And
Yeah.
she's like, really?
Yeah.
And she never told anybody. I was
Okay.
surprised. She didn't tell my stepdad or anything. Um, and I didn't want her to.
Yeah.
Uh, so I knew she'd be okay with it though.
Yeah.
So she took that to her grave as far
Okay.
as.
Well, what about when you were a kid and living in your mom's house, which sounds like you were there more than your dad's?
I was, and
Yeah.
it just wasn't a good time. I and lived with my grandmother more. And my
Okay.
grandmother was great, my
Yeah.
mom's mom. And
Mhm.
she also had a pool in a big yard. So I guess in a sense, my grandmother was my mom during those years, and she let me run around just like my dad. So they had a big fenced in yard, and I was, my cousin and I would run around naked.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
that's is it your contention or your belief that basically we come out of the womb, obviously we're born naked, and
yeah,
there's an inner desire to always be naked, and maybe not at the conscious
yeah,
level, but why would you put clothes on? That seems foreign to the whole aspect of living. You believe that too?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe clothes are for when you're cold.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's basically why they were developed, although the other extreme, I think, is what got clothing in first. It got too hot. Like sometimes it'd be too hot and your skin would burn, to a crisp if you didn't put something on.
Hmm.
But yeah, sure, as people venture to the colder climates, yeah, you can't just be nude all the time, especially, well, in colder climates. Now, I can usually be nude year round here, even outside on most days. Now, in the
So can that.
yeah, in the winter time, I might only get 2, 3, 4 hours max, and maybe less than that on some days. But for the most part, certainly clothes free inside and probably clothes free outside every day. But I realize I didn't have that before because I lived in a northern climate as well. Now, where you're at, where does it get really kind of a little bit too chilly to be outside all day? About what time of the year?
Um, Almost now. Um,
Okay.
Today I'll probably have to wear shorts and a t-shirt.
Okay.
If the sun goes in, if the sun stays out, I'm good.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be maybe it'll be nice today. I think it's going to be 70 some today.
Okay.
Um, the pool water will be pretty cold. I think it's going to be probably 68.
Okay. Yeah.
And
That's
we'll do the
cool.
class. I know but we'll do it. We'll do our water lifting class. It's so invigorating though.
Yeah.
Um, Once you're done, just to bake in the sun, and it
Yeah.
just, oh, it is so good.
Yeah. No, you can't beat that. I had a whole bunch of people here at Christmas time, so mid to late December, early January, and thank goodness I can have a heater for the pool. So I made sure I put the heater on a
Mhm.
few days before they got here to get it all warmed up. So we were swimming all winter long, for about a month
That's nice.
outside. Yeah. Now I would not have done that even in Florida without a heated pool because it does get too cold, at least for me.
Yeah.
Maybe some people wouldn't have a problem, but I'm not into the whole cold water thing. Just give me warmth and we're good to go. Kind of like you and I this morning. We were both chilly at the beginning of the interview for different reasons, but we've warmed up a little bit, right?
I'm a little chilly right now though. I had
Yeah,
to close all the windows.
yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
it's definitely cold here.
Yeah. So at some point in the fall, October, November, it starts to get too chilly to be outside all day. How about in the spring? When does it finally open up? Like, from this day forward, I can be
Oh,
outside every day naked.
usually April, May.
Hmm.
Um, it's kind of October and April are kind of the same, as
Okay.
far as,
Okay.
so those are like the end and the beginning.
Okay.
The April we can still get snow
Yeah,
sometimes.
that's true.
Um, and yeah, so I would say mid to late April until mid to late October
Okay.
is your nudie time.
Okay. Okay.
And then once Halloween comes and goes, it's just too cold.
Okay. Now I
Yeah.
know Washington D.C. can get ridiculously over the top hot in the summer. Is that something you
Yeah.
experience in Annapolis, Maryland?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
This year not so much. Last
Yeah.
year was great. It was hot. Um
Yeah.
we love it hot. It
Yeah.
was great.
Yeah.
The pool got so hot, it was almost like bath water. It was like 92 degrees.
Wow.
Um
That works.
in Annapolis. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy. So
Yeah.
um it can get pretty hot, but we love it. The hotter the better.
Yeah. Well, I was going to go outside. It was literally about 100 degrees, and I was going to just lie out in the sun, maybe do a little work in the backyard, clothes free. And somebody said, "Well, you can't go outside. It's 100 degrees." And I said, "Exactly. That's exactly why I'm going out, because
Hmm.
the hotter the better. At least for me, it sounds like you're along the same lines, right?"
Yes,
All
yes.
right.
Love it.
Well, what tips or suggestions would you offer to other women? Because we get this question here a lot from women.
Okay.
They hear about it. Their husband's into it. They're not so sure they are. In fact, they're not convinced that they are. But there's an interest there, partially because my husband seems to really enjoy this. and there's nothing weird about it for him. He just enjoys being clothes free, around the house or outside if it's private. Uh, but they're a little reticent about going to a club or to a nude beach, so they come to us
Mhm.
for advice. And we tell people we're not psychologists or social workers, but we have lived life and we have a lot of experiences. But as a woman, what would you tell a woman about living clothes free or being clothes free, and why, at least your recommendation, she probably ought to try it. And if it doesn't work out, fine. But we found just about everybody it works out. So what would your suggestions be?
So I struggled with body dysmorphia for years.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
and so I think with that, so a lot of women are self-conscious.
Yeah.
You know, I'm too this, I'm too that. This doesn't look right. It just, it's endless. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You
Mm-hmm.
can criticize yourself to no end.
Yeah.
So once you take your clothes off and you're with, I think the social nudity helps self-confidence.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to be perfect, and you'll see every shape, size, literally from young to old. Um,
Mm-hmm.
for a woman, like for me, I didn't care. Like I was going to be naked no matter what, so I didn't have any problems with. Once I got over that body dysmorphia, you
Mm-hmm.
you take your clothes off. There's nothing restricting you. There's nothing digging in to make you feel like, oh, this doesn't fit right. This doesn't look right on me. And when
Yeah.
you're naked, there's nothing to fit right. It's just
Right.
your body,
Yeah.
you know? So I think for other women, just to encourage them, try it. Just try it, maybe in a small setting first,
Yeah.
just, I don't know, come over, have drinks, something like that, just with a small group. Because we
Mm-hmm.
have had friends that we've tried to introduce the social nudity, and they're a little apprehensive about it.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll start like just have drinks here or have dinner here
Mm-hmm.
inside.
Yeah.
And then maybe let's go to the pool, or let's go for a walk around the neighborhood. And you just kind of baby steps into
Yeah.
it. And I found that that helped a couple people, a couple of our friends
Mm-hmm.
step, go one step further and meet people and go to the pool and go to the parties. And I just think it helps with self-confidence, body image. Um, it just strips, like we said earlier, it strips all those the fancy clothes,
Yeah. Yeah.
or it just strips all that away, and
Yeah.
everybody's equal. So I just think for a woman, it just give you self-confidence to
Oh, yeah.
disrobe everything. And once you do it, I think you'll never go back.
Oh, right. That's exactly what we found. And
Mm-hmm.
you mentioned something a moment ago that we've heard a lot too with women who have tried it, because we'll hear from women, oh, my dress or my shirt or whatever doesn't fit quite right because I think I put on 5 pounds in the last week or
Right.
two, and so they're
Mm-hmm.
just kind of the whole time, the whole dinner, the whole whatever. That's kind of kind of uneasy because it just doesn't feel right.
Mm-hmm.
And you said just a few minutes ago, basically, well, if you didn't have it on, you wouldn't have that issue, right? It's so
Right.
simple, yet it's 100% accurate, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yep.
So you don't have those restrictions. I cannot imagine, for example, cleaning the inside of my house, whether I'm, dusting dishes, putting stuff away in cupboards, underneath the sink. I cannot imagine doing that with clothes on, because every
Mm-hmm.
move you make, you raise up on your toes to put a dish away up high. You have that shirt and the pants and whatever else is kind of restricting your movement. That seems blatantly ridiculous to do that. I'm guessing you agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
Yep.
doesn't make
I
any
clean
sense at
naked
all.
every day.
Yeah,
Leave
yeah,
slow every
absolutely.
day.
Absolutely. That's the only way to go. So, what's on tap for you now? We have today, obviously, November 8th. We had part one last week on November 1. Today's November 8th. What's on tap for you between now and the time you can get outside in the spring and be clothes free all the time? You mentioned going to Myrtle Beach, but any races coming up, or is that kind of dormant throughout the winter season?
It's pretty dormant. And this year is going to be different for us. We're going to Myrtle Beach because my dad passed away,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to take care of his house and stuff
Mm-hmm.
down there. So
Yeah.
it's kind of a blessing in disguise
Yeah.
because it's going to be warmer down there than it is up here.
Yeah.
But we can't be naked, so that's going to be tough.
Why can you not be naked there? Will there be other people there?
Well, in the house we can, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
a regular neighborhood. I have to
okay,
remember, I have to put my textile brain
yeah,
back on so I don't walk outside and let the dogs out.
yeah. And it's actually,
Yeah.
just logically speaking, numerically speaking, women have to do twice the amount of work as men to go outside because I can just throw on a pair of shorts and I'm good to go. You have to throw
That's when
something
a
on.
robe comes in.
Oh, yeah, that's true too. And there's something about, we do have a woman in the neighborhood, by the way, who will come out at night under the guise of taking out trash or checking her mail, at 10 o'clock at night. It's like, really? And of course, there's never any mail at 10 o'clock at night because, she got it at 3 in the afternoon, but she'll come
Right.
out in a robe. And I know darn well she doesn't have anything on under that robe. She's never said a word to me, but she'll just stand there and talk to me. It's like, well, this is just really kind of odd. But okay, that's okay. And there's no problem with that. For whatever
Hmm.
reason, a woman can walk around with a robe on and be no problem. A man walking out in a robe, a lot of times there's a problem with that. Like, what's going on here, Frank? Why do you have a robe on? Not that I've done that before, but have you noticed that or thought about that? There are differences with how people perceive men and women in different situations, but in this case, a robe.
In the if it was outside of this community, yeah. So I'm
Right,
used to it here.
right.
Here, everybody walks around. Well, we call it Donald ducking, whether you have a shirt and no pants
Yeah,
or the Winnie the Pooh. I mean, we have these little, uh,
true.
but when it's cold out, that's what we do. We wear,
Mm,
half or a robe.
yeah,
But here, that's normal. But if I think about if I saw it in, like, say, my dad's neighborhood in Myrtle Beach,
yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
yeah, I mean, I can see how it would be perceived a little bit differently.
yeah,
Man versus woman as far as walking around in a robe, because
yeah.
there's nothing on underneath that.
Right. Exactly. I mean, why have a robe on if you have clothes on? It just doesn't make any
Right.
sense. You don't have any clothes on if
No,
you have a robe on in most cases. And
most
so, yeah,
cases. Yeah.
yeah, I just became aware of that over the last couple of years. Like, she's out there all the time in a robe, and I
And
could
it's normal.
probably never get away with. Yeah, totally normal, and I could probably
Yeah.
never get away with that. I have gone out to the mailbox with just a shirt on, but it's a long shirt and it covers up everything. No harm, no foul, as I like to say. But I'm sure a few neighbors have questioned, like, "Whoa, what's going on there?" But they don't know. I could have a pair of
Yeah.
shorts on. I just have an extra long shirt. But it's funny the games we have to play just to live the life we want to
Yeah.
live. When I know that if everybody else lived the same life that you and I lived and Matt lives, clothes for a living for all the right reasons, they'd be a whole lot happier and a lot more stress free, wouldn't they?
Oh God, yeah. It is.
Yeah.
Whenever I have a bad day, I have to think about, like, look, this is trivial. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stop complaining. Look
Yeah.
at where you are. Look at your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody has bad days, and I'll bitch and moan about it, and I just have to take a second and be like, look, shut up.
Yeah.
Walk out. You're fine.
That's exactly right. And I've told the story on the show before. My MO for years, working in corporate America, Mr. Suit and tie and fancy shoes and all the trimmings that go with
Hmm.
that. Believe me, I could not wait to get home to get that off, hop in the shower, and then close for the rest of the night. And I know that my career lasted longer and my blood pressure remained normal because of that.
Yeah.
Because if you get caught up in that world with your clothes on all the time, you just kind of go crazy, as I've seen some people do. And that my doctor would ask me every year, he goes, "Tell me again what you do for a living." And he knew me really well. And I would tell him, he goes, "That's what I thought." He goes, "But your blood pressure always stays the same. It's totally normal. It's like perfect blood pressure." He goes, "How do you maintain that?" And I didn't tell him everything, but I used to joke, clean living, I stay out of trouble, I don't overeat, I watch what I drink, and then I did. Eventually, after a number of years, I said, I do live clothes free, and he actually told me, he goes, "I thought so." He said, "So do I," and I could tell the look on your face. You just have this relaxed feeling about you, even though I know you have a very stressful job. I said, "Well, there you go." And I don't have a stressful job. It's not stressful to me. I'm actually relaxed at work because I live clothes free. That rhymes, by the way. I should put that on a business card.
Yeah, that's a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Or no, not a t-shirt.
Yeah. Same for you, basically. Have you had I'm guessing you've had jobs or things to do in the
Yes.
community, or clothes on all day, can't wait to get home type of thing.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was, as far as that, you have your job during the day, you know,
Yeah.
you put that face on, but when you get home, you just take it off.
Yeah.
So that's, you just
Yeah.
leave that, you know, and then you're good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, basically you just take off the day, take off that persona that you've had to put on all day, and now you're just yourself, just you and
Yeah.
your skin.
Yeah.
Yep.
It not only does it feel great physically, but psychologically, it's like, now I can relax. Yeah,
Yes.
it's just, yeah, exactly. All the junk from the day is gone. Literally, the clothes are gone, but all the psychological junk is gone too. At
Yep.
least that's what I found. It sounds like you found, and everybody
Hmm.
who's tried it has found. So, how do we get more people to try this, Brady Dell? You're the expert here. How do we get everyone to be naked every day?
I try to bring, literally tell as many people as I possibly can and share. And like, you know, you get the looks, you
Yeah,
know, but you'll get maybe one out of three people will do it. They'll come,
yeah,
they'll try it, and then they'll tell their friends if they
mm-hmm,
liked it. And it trickled down. It just keeps on, just keeps spreading. And the more and more people you meet in these communities, you're not going to meet nicer people,
yeah,
and more transparent people. It's just, I think most of my friends now are nudists, naturists. I've got more friends now than I did. It's hard to make friends as you get older,
yeah,
but not in a nudist community.
right,
Everybody, whether you like it or not, is going to be your friend.
right. Yeah, because people are more set in their ways. It seems to be as people get older, they trust fewer and fewer people. Whereas,
Hmm.
when you were a kid running in your backyard naked at 5 years old, it's like, hey, who wants to be my friend? Come on over. And before you
Yep.
know it, you're playing whatever you played back then. I played baseball all the time.
Right.
Anybody came over, hey, you want to go outside and throw a ball? Yeah, let's go. And next thing you
Yep.
know, a guy I just met at age 5, 10, 15, whatever, we're
Uh
best
huh.
friends for life. And then for whatever reason, we lose that. And part of it could be this, we tighten up and can't do that. Somebody might complain or somebody might, whatever.
Yeah, I
If,
know.
if we go back and I like to say, I still think of myself as a very young person because I still have that same energy and that same outlook. And then a few of my friends will say, well, you kind of act like, one, two. You kind of act like you're five once in a while, but they're still good friends, even though they say stuff like that. But it's true. When we have
Hmm.
that joy as kids, many people lose it as adults. And then we have all the health problems, overweight,
Yep.
stress, blood pressure, and clothes free living for all the right reasons solves a whole bunch, doesn't it?
It does. And
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that movie. It was a Cocoon, where it's all the old people jumping in the water
Yeah.
and getting like that fountain of youth.
Mm-hmm.
This place and this lifestyle literally feels like I'm a kid again.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, like you've got
Yeah.
that innate, it's literally, I feel like you started as a child running around naked, free, making friends with everybody. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
love, there's no negativity.
Right.
Then you have life in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And then you come back. Like I feel like we've come back to that in this community here.
Yeah.
And we just run around naked. We speaking of, we started wiffle ball. Do you remember
Okay.
wiffle ball as a
I
kid?
I played it nonstop. Absolutely. Yes.
So we just started having wiffle ball, or if we don't get enough people to play, we'll just have a home run derby with a wiffle ball.
Yeah.
And it's hysterical because there's a bunch of old naked people running around playing wiffle ball.
Yeah.
I mean, we're rolling all over the grass, we're falling, I
Yeah.
mean, it literally, it was so much fun. So that's
Yeah.
become a new game here at Pine Tree.
Oh,
Naked wiffle ball.
I might have to move up there and join your club just for that very reason alone.
It is
I,
so much fun.
we had smaller backyards when I was a kid, decent
Yeah,
sized backyards, but there would be a house behind us. So a real baseball, we tried a real baseball twice, and both times we broke windows. So our parents
same,
said, "That's
same.
it. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
wiffle ball or go to a park or something."
yeah.
And so we'd play wiffle ball. I don't want to say nonstop, but pretty close to nonstop during the summer. Like eight
Correct.
o'clock,
Yep,
somebody be, hey, you want to get together and have a game? Yeah, come on over. And before you know it, you got
yep.
10 guys in the backyard. We split up teams 5 and 5. We're playing, And of
Yep.
course, that would always be arguments, so we'd always work them out. I remember we had one because the yard was fenced in, and if the ball went over the fence, well, who's going to go get it? Someone's got to go hop the fence and get it. Oh, you
Hmm.
get it. I got it. And so this guy came up with a rule. He goes, how about this? He who throws goes, he who hits gets. Oh, simple. We solved that major world crisis in about 3 seconds.
Uh-huh.
As kids, we could do that. And as
Yes.
adults, we just stay angry forever half the time, don't we?
Oh God, it's terrible. Yeah.
That's right.
But
Well, it's been very terrific to talk to you. Brady Dell has been our guest. Remember, we had her husband, Matt Dell, on back in May of 2025. And she is with the Pine Tree Associates, America's premier family nudist club, pinetreeclub.org. And Brady Dell, I would tell you to go out there and have a great close-free day, but
I
that would
will.
be, I know that'd be redundant as to, because of what you're going to do. You're going to do that whether I say so or not, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. And do your best when you go to Myrtle Beach and throughout the winter. Stay close-free as often as possible. How about that?
I absolutely will, without
right.
getting arrested.
That's right. Yeah. Very big into that. Very much so. Well, Brady Dell, thank you for everything. Go out there and have a great close-free day. We'll talk again soon.
You too, Frank. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The very terrific Brady Dell from the Pine Tree Associates Family Nudist Club in Annapolis, Maryland. She and her husband Matt do it all for Pine Tree. She's also a big advocate of naturism, nudism, clothes-free living, and of course, she's one gifted athlete. And we thank Brady Dell for all of her time on these last 2 Saturdays. And on the next 2 Saturday shows, which will be episodes 141 and 143, we will have 2 guests, Dave Barry and Gary Kite, from the First Coast Naturist Non-Landed Nudist Club in Jacksonville, Florida. And before we head for the hills till Wednesday's show, let's bring back in our naturism correspondent, Lisa Monroe. Welcome back, Lisa.
I'm glad to be back, and I got to tell you something. I'm tired after listening to Brady. I wish I had that enthusiasm and I could run like that. I'm a
not
walker,
kidding.
not a runner. Trust me. I was a dancer, so I was athletic in that respect, but not like she is. And I admire her very much for that skill that she has and that enthusiasm that she has.
But she also serves as an example that you could do this too. You could.
Yes.
Maybe, I don't mean you personally, but anybody,
Yes.
maybe not as well as she does, but you can get out there and get your running shoes on. You might only run 20 feet and then you're tired. Okay, that's fine. Maybe tomorrow you run 25 feet, the next day 30 feet, and before you know it, you're running a marathon. That's kind of how life works. You know, increments and steps, you build up to it. Brady has already built up to it and beyond that, and it serves as a great example, doesn't she?
To be honest, I have done some running, jogging in the past, but after a while, the knee doesn't want to cooperate. So now I'm back to walking.
Yeah.
So, but it's a great feeling. And what she said about running naked, that must be such an exhilarating feeling.
I mean, I can speak, personally to that, and I've never
Right.
run in a race of any kind ever, which is kind of silly because for years that's exactly what I did, and everybody in the greater town where I was living forever knew that I was a runner. And every time there'd be a race, as my kids got involved, I'd be there at the finish line, and there'd be half a dozen people. Hey, Frank, next time you got to get out here and bust your butt. Enough of this just watching us. And, yeah, okay, great. And then I never did. So, oh well. All right, Lisa Monroe, let's head for the hills. You promised to stay clothes-free. We'll let you go until Wednesday.
Clothes-free, sweater nearby, but clothes-free as much as possible.
All right, that works. Have a great clothes-free few days. We'll see you on Wednesday.
All righty.
Well, you've been listening to Naked, Nudists, and Naturists, episode 139 today. We give you a brand new show every Saturday morning at 6 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time. Continue to join us. Check us out on our website, nakednudistandnaturist.com, Spotify, Google, Amazon/Audible, Apple Podcasts, and also on Twitter. You can write us anywhere, anytime, any place. And we thank you for being with us today. Plan to join us for every single one of our shows here and have your clothes off when you're listening. We have our clothes off when we're broadcasting, enjoying the naturist life.
We celebrate clothes-free living for all. Remember to enjoy being naked and join us again for Naked, Nudist, and Naturist.
We drop a brand new show every Saturday morning, so come back and join us. Have your clothes off when you do for Naked, Nudists, and Naturists. Have a great clothes-free day.